heroes of our great land, sold out to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took high from the bottomless pit, but my hands was made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We've all got in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing redemption song, the songs of freedom? Is all I ever heard. Redemption song, redemption song, redemption. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, for none of them can stop the time. How long shall the killer prophet, while we stand aside and look? This is just a part of it. Triumphantly, won't you help to sing redemption song, redemption song, the songs of freedom is all I ever heard. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, for none of them can stop the time. How long shall the killer prophet, while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing the songs of freedom, the songs of freedom, redemption song is all I ever heard. Redemption song, redemption song, redemption song. The songs of freedom, songs of freedom.
Yes, redemption song. What a song. What a song. You know, God is the source of all inspiration that brings truth, that brings justice. All inspiration that brings divine wisdom, that brings liberation. And God flows in and through diverse vessels. It's amazing that way beyond, far beyond religious walls, the walls of religious places of worship, God also have his prophet. He has people that he has given some illumination, some passion to give expression to his desire for humanity. I think that's part of what that song represents. I love the aspect that asks, how long will they kill our prophets? And we do nothing. You know, it's not only prophets that are being killed. presidents, will-be presidents, will-be statesmen, they're not just being literally killed and butchered. People that will have, people that will have taken humanity to great height or greater heights have been killed. But they also been dehumanized. Those who are not killed, impoverished, dehumanized, and weaponized. As poverty is weaponized against them, they are dehumanized and they're turned to weapons in the hands of oppressors. So if there's a time we need to sing redemption song, it's now. And it's not just a song of lamentation. These are songs that should galvanize us. These are songs that should stir us up, remove the blindfold, unblock our minds and our ears. And not just to, push everything to God and just, God in His sovereignty, He knows what to do, He will do what He will do. God's ability is not an excuse from our own responsibility. So that is why we're bringing this special dimension in our operation. And this operation, of course, is from the flagship of our social initiative, non-government organization. It's a non-profit making organization. It's profitable, but we're not out to make profit from people. It's called CPJ, Catalyst for Global Peace and Justice. And it says, without justice, there can be no peace. And it's even in the present national anthem of Nigeria. We aim for peace on the basis of justice. But this platform is known as Catalyst Coalition Platform. But we're meant to be catalysts. But we can't do it alone. No one can be an island. The crisis and the problem and the challenges confronting us, in regions and within national boundaries and across the world, need us to build bridges. We need to form coalition. We need to join forces together. We need to rise up above the things that divide us and allow truth to unite us and set us free. So that's why we're creating this platform as Catalyst Coalition. Last time we brought some youthful people to give expression, either to their disappointment, to their expectation, with passion and all of that. And it was beautiful. Today it's another special day. And I'm not going to talk long because we have a surprise in the house. Surprise, surprise. Get ready for pleasant surprise. The last time we attempted this, it went global. It went viral. So get excited. Call people before you even know what's going to happen. Just tell them, you know what? Link up. Catalyst Coalition is on. Yeah. And we're still going to be dealing with the foundational problem of our nation Nigeria, or our country Nigeria. It's been argued whether we're actually a nation, whether we can attain to nationhood, or whether we're just a contraption, or a geographical, whatever you call it. We want to deal with issues that pertain to the foundation of Nigeria. Because you remember the scripture, and I want to read it quickly as my preamble, in Psalm 11. Psalm 11 from verse 3, I want to read some few verses just to put it in context. And then I'll allow you to meditate and derive whatever interpretation you can get out of it. Verse 3 says, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Now we've been warned, don't add to scriptures and don't remove. So when people read this, they immediately says nothing. But it never says nothing. It didn't say nothing. It didn't conclude. It's an open-ended question. if the foundations, in plural, be destroyed or are faulty, and not proper, what can the righteous do? The answer, you have to go further to verse 4. It says, the Lord is in his holy temple, provided the temple is holy. The holy worship place where people worship in truth and in spirit. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyes lead, test the sons of men. So if the foundations are destroyed, we go to the Lord in temples that are holy, not perverted, not corrupt with greed, not where people have become teen God and people have been worshipped rather than God and trying to again impoverish others and, exploit others and dominate and whatever, abuse others and, try to keep them in ignorance. Those are not holy temples. Not like when Jesus came in John chapter 2 where people have turned the worship place to a place of merchandise where they were selling and buying and changing money and all of that. And Jesus had to make weep. He became an activist. He didn't pray. Before he prayed, he drove them out and upturned their tables. So temples and places of worship that have been turned to places of merchandise where people are again being deceived and being impoverished and being dehumanized, and being exploited are not those holy places that you can call holy temple. But the temple where God is enthroned as the maker of all human, where God will reveal his mind that the dignity of everyone he created is important to him. That the people that are downtrodden and trampled and being slaughtered as if they're expendable resources, as if they're disposable, as if they must be sacrificial lamb to sustain some human gods. This is not the temple where you can find God. But if the foundations of society is destroyed, you go to holy temple where God tries the heart of the sons of men. And then he tests also the righteous. Verse 5. It's not only just the wicked and the oppressors and the corrupt that God tests and tries. Even the so-called righteous people. But the wicked and the one who loves violence, the soul of God hates. And upon such wicked, he will rain coals. So with God, there is no impunity. He will rain coal. He will bring fire and brimstone. And a burning wind shall be the portion of the cup of those wicked. For the Lord is righteous. He loves righteousness. And by righteousness, the other side of the coin is justice. His countenance beholds the upright. So God in his holy temple is trying the heart of people, including the righteous. And he's looking for people that are upright, that can think straight. People that can line up with God and say, let your will be done here as it is in heaven. When you made human, you say, let us make them and let them be empowered. It's not let us and let us and let us alone. So what we're having now, whether in political or religious circle, is where leaders are just saying, let us prosper. Let us remain powerful. Let us remain, whatever we think we are, and let them be nothing. No, God said, let us, as heavenly beings, make people human and let them be free. And let them have dominion. And let them be able to fulfill our dreams and our visions. So this is what we need to address when the foundations are destroyed. And we have no doubt that the foundations are destroyed. Today we want to deal with issues of Nigeria and the foundation. That is either faulty or destroyed. And the other day I showed you in Isaiah 28 verse 20. He says the bed is shorter than anyone can lie upon. The covering cloth is not sufficient. It's a foundational and it's a structural problem. And the surprise you have today is bringing in an expert who is both a learned person a professional, is highly spiritual, is widely exposed, but passionately committed, sacrificially committed to help us not just do a diagnosis, but also do a prognosis and find PANACEA for this foundational and structural deficiency that is plaguing this country called Nigeria. So don't go anywhere. I'll be introducing my guest shortly as we go on this break, and tell others to join. You can't afford to miss this. I need to send this around because you're going to be enlightened and you're going to be empowered. God bless you as you continue. You are welcome back to this Catalyst Coalition Forum. This is a big one, trust me. Today, we have in the house a man I respect so much. I personally, he doesn't want any title. If you call him High Chief, I believe he deserves it. If you call him Mazi, you won't be off. If you call him Doctor, he's a professor by every standard. Yeah, but he just want to go by Mr. And that will tell you how much of a revolutionary and radical people. It's not the size of their title, it's the content. So it goes by a simple Mr. And as I mentioned all the stuff about him, some of you will begin to put lines together. He is the Secretary General of the Lower Niger Congress and the co-convener of Movement for New Nigeria. He's all over the place and is activating. He's a chief catalyst. He's a distinguished comrade. Help me welcome Mr. Tony Nadi. Hey, Oga Tony. We salute you. I used to wonder your passion, your sacrificial commitment, your consistency. I mean, you've been in the trenches. So okay, I forgot to say that you are also a legal luminary. He's a legal practitioner. Maybe you help him fill in the blanks. But I think where I want to start this segment, we're dealing with the topic Nigeria, prognosis, and PANACEA. Because we had a session here January last year, where you did a diagnosis. And it was incredible. You are like a medical professional. You are like a surgeon. And the thing went globally. I still have a top man of God from the northern part of Nigeria sending the clip to me a few weeks ago. Right. People from everywhere keep saying, where did this happen? And I say, well, if you want him real life, we can come together. Yeah. So my point is, how long have you been in this struggle for justice, for an equitable society, for the liberation of the masses of people that are locked up in this country? When did your struggle start?
Well, growing up as a child in the immediate aftermath of the war that ended in 1970, you know, I've suffered firsthand from some of the inequities that were, imposed.
Before the Civil War.
No. After.
We need to hear you louder. Okay, tell us.
Yeah.
Because we wonder where you get your passion from and your commitment. So it started before the Civil War, after the Civil War?
As growing up after the war.
After the war?
Yes, in the early 70s.
Yeah.
I lost a scholarship in primary 5.
My goodness.
On account of the part of the country from which I came. And, my young mind at the time began to ask questions. And answers to those questions led to more questions. Amazing. And then more questions.
Amazing.
Eventually, by the time I was, going from secondary school to the higher institution, the first thing that came to my mind was that there was an unfinished business from what I already knew. And for that reason, I wanted to go to the Nigerian Defense Academy.
Yeah, I remember you said that. So you are being a military man.
Yeah, so I ended up, of course, I had to move from the NDA to the university.
Yeah.
I had set out to be a military pilot. I read all the physics and chemistries of this one, but out of, I would say, providence, I ended up in law. And so straight from the university, of course, I had my stint in court because it was a law I read.
Yeah.
But again, I ended up in the oil industry, in the upstream segment, of course.
Yeah, you worked briefly in the oil industry.
Yes, in the servicing sector of the upstream. And from there, I came face to face with the kind of the documentations, the concessions by which Shell and Mobil and Chevron and all of them were operating. And it became clear to me that there was something missing in the arena. And it was those inquiries about those things that led to my having to leave that oil industry in 1998.
You left that lucrative job.
Yes.
Yeah, because that also have been an amazement.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like Moses that left the treasure of Egypt
Yes.
and said, I would rather suffer with the people of God.
At that time, it was when most of my mates were still trying to find their bearings in life.
Yeah.
I was dealing with, multi-million-dollar.
Amazing. And this was around when? Which year was it?
Between 95, 96, 97, up to 1998.
Okay.
So that's how we came to. And you can also recall that in all those times, NADECO had happened.
That's right.
And the election that
the annulment of the election in 1993.
So I was very deeply involved in all of how we tried to manage.
As a legal practitioner, you became an activist.
Yes, as a part of the core
struggle.
People looking for how to solve the problem.
For justice and fairness.
Yes. And so it was the unfinished business of NADECO. NADECO was able to get the soldiers out of the way.
Absolutely.
Abacha had,
before the military to a standstill.
Yes. Abacha, had
expired.
Exited.
Yeah.
And then the journey proceeded to the, Absalom Abaka. And
after the people of Abiola, MKO. Yeah.
And the transition that yielded the 9 election. But in all of that, the unfinished business of NADECO was the constitution by which that democracy they were fighting for will be operated. Okay. That unfinished
So
business,
from NADECO,
yes, you
transmuted with the people that were in the struggle into PRONACO.
Yes, we came immediately. By the time 99 came, we saw that the soldiers had just gone to dust up the 1979 Constitution.
As 99 Constitution.
Which didn't come from us. Many people may not know that the 1979 Constitution came from the instruction of Murtala Mohammed in 1975.
Really?
He got Rotimi Williams
right.
and Ben Wapeze, who they brought later to craft a draft that went before the Constituent Assembly of 1977.
Okay.
The Constituent Assembly, knowing that, because most of the delegates there were also active politicians in the republic that collapsed at the time the war came.
Yeah.
The members of the Constituent Assembly knew that Nigeria was agreed to be, a federal union.
Yeah.
And the constitutions that made it that federal union were the constitutions of the Western region, the Eastern region, the Northern region, and the Midwest that came in 1963.
Yeah.
And that it was the abandonment of that arrangement that has brought Nigeria to where it was now wobbling.
Yeah, in 1966.
In 1966. So by the time the Constituent Assembly was, was being convened in 1977.
Under Murtala Mohammed.
Murtala Mohammed that commissioned the draft.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make now is that the constitution we have on the table now,
which is the 99
the
Constitution.
1999 constitution. I'm telling our viewers.
Okay,
the origin
please tell
of
them.
it.
Yeah, but we need to be enlightened
the origin
about
of
this.
it is that all of those things that centralize the ownership and control in the system
That form the unitary system.
That form the unitary system away from the federal system that we agreed upon in Lancaster House in 1959. You know, were reduced into instruction materials for the draft that was commissioned in 1975. Amazing. It was that draft of Rotimi Williams and Benoit Beze that was handed over to the Constituent Assembly.
That transmitted to the 79 Constitution.
To the 79 Constitution. Even that Constituent Assembly had rejected the states that were created at the time, because we are now confronted with the consequences of those bad decisions that were carried forward.
And you're saying the 99 Constitution just metamorphosed. It's a metamorphosis.
Yes,
just an evolution. Or you said they dusted it
they just,
to form this 999 Constitution.
Decree number 24 by which, of 1999, by which Absalom Abaka, imposed this.
Fostered the 99 Constitution on us.
Actually made a reference to 1979. It said that most people, according to their own finding, wanted a return to 79 Constitution. But that 79 itself was a departure from federalism. Okay. And it wasn't the product of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly rejected the states that were imposed in place of the regions, because it was in replacing the regions, fracturing the regions into states, that they lost their assets to the center that was now the owner of everybody and everything. And in rejecting that, they also rejected the presidential system, because it will accumulate power the way we have seen.
Okay.
So, but what happened?
This was in 77.
This was 77.
Now
they submitted a clean copy of their recommendations. But on the 21st of September in 1978, Obasanjo, who had taken over from Murtala Mohammed, went on national broadcast to introduce 17 amendments decided by his Supreme Military Council of the time. 17 amendments. Every single thing that the Constituent Assembly removed from the draft that was given to them as a working material, he restored. So he took us all
with
the
a military fiat.
Yes, it was the Supreme Military Council of Obasanjo that imposed the 1979 Constitution.
This is you taking us to the roots and the foundation of the crisis we're facing now.
Yes, yes.
Well, and we need to understand this because our time is running fast. Now, what is wrong with the 1999 Constitution? Because you've just told us, the genesis of that Constitution, and we've been hearing voices of well-informed people, reasonable voices of reason, people that are selfless and passionate for truth and justice, saying that the 1999 Constitution is a problem. Can you tell us, in a simple way, how the 1999 Constitution is a problem?
The first big problem, which cannot be resolved by the National Assembly or anybody in government, the first big problem is the claim in the preamble that we, the people, having solemnly resolved to live in unity as one indivisible country,
firmly and solemnly.
Firmly and solemnly.
We the people, the citizens of Nigeria.
Yes, that is the first big problem, and that is the foundation upon which all the other problems are built. Because that we the people is a claim, is in usurpation and in hijack of the sovereignty of the people that make up this union.
Yes, sir.
That preamble is purporting that we the Yoruba, having firmly and solemnly resolved, sitting with the judge, discussing with the Ogoni,
the Igbos, the Northerners,
all of it is supposed to be proceeding from the mouth of the constituent peoples of Nigeria.
Okay.
And so it is by that
from something like a sovereign conference.
From some meeting in which they are discussing their sovereignty.
Each of these people groups.
These groups could have been countries of their own. Yoruba would be a country of 55 million people. The eastern side could be a country of 70 million people.
So their representatives were supposed to come together.
In exercise of their sovereignty, it is claimed in that preamble that they are saying that we, the people,
have decided,
having discussed and solemnly resolved,
and firmly,
submitting our lands and our people into this union to be called Nigeria, an indivisible union, an indissoluble union. So that's the first claim. Then it goes further in that same preamble to say, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. Meaning that having so resolved, we also wrote down these articles that we call the Constitution.
So is that why some people say that preamble is fraudulent?
Yes, it is.
And therefore,
the whole union of
discredit
Nigeria,
the Constitution.
The whole union of Nigeria is now resting on that false foundation of appropriating your sovereignty, my sovereignty, and the sovereignty of everybody.
Because like we're building on falsehood.
Yeah, on falsehood.
And you lawyers say you can't build something on nothing.
Unfortunately for the authors of the document, the Yoruba land is part of Nigeria today. Igbo land is your land, Tiv land.
Canary, whatever.
Is part of the Union of Nigeria on account of that claim, on account of that false pretense that they submitted themselves into the union.
So it's like treating all of this nationality as if they are infants that couldn't discuss, couldn't decide. And the military just came out and said, we have decided for you, and we are saying you decide.
They were not even honest enough to do that. Decree number 24 by which Absalom Abubakar imposed the Constitution tells the story step by step of how they came about the Constitution. He says he formed a Constitution debate coordinating committee that went around the country, and that most people...
Did that happen?
Was
there a constitutional debate
commission? Yes, there was a committee they set up. But that is not what should happen. What should happen, the meeting that should have happened, the meeting that must now happen, is one between the constituents. The Yoruba will have to come as Yoruba. We heard about Chile just the other day.
That's right.
Rejecting the constitution imposed by the military in 1999.
That's right.
And now they are going into election. They are going to vote in April of 2021 to elect people who will go to make constitution for them.
So this is about fixing the foundation.
Fixing the foundation. Their society is collapsing on them, and they've traced it to that bad arrangement, that bad foundation upon which they are building. And so it is in this decree number 24 that the proof that we never met is found. And it's also printed by error.
That's right.
By divine mistake.
In the preamble.
They printed it along because there's a specific instruction that should not be printed, so that people will never know that this was how it came. Because
in the original...
In the face of this content of this decree number 24, I want the lawyers in the land to be confronted by anybody who can ask them. The author of the Constitution narrated the story of how he came about the Constitution. He says the committee came back to the Supreme Council, and the Supreme Military Council approved the report.
And at the end of that preamble, they said this should not be added to the Constitution.
That this should not be printed. In subsection 3 of section 1 of that decree number 24, it says, whenever it may hereafter be necessary for the Constitution to be printed, it shall be lawful for the federal government printer to omit all parts of this decree apart from the schedule, and the Constitution as so printed shall have the force of law, notwithstanding the omission.
So which means there are Constitution copies out there that don't contain this.
Yes, because they printed a second version in order to conceal this, the true origin.
But there's an original version. And you can still get
this is the version. On traffic. Anybody who buys it. So when you see the contents of this decree number 24, and you now come to the preamble that says that we the people have solemnly the proof of the fact that we never met is this decree number 24, which was why they wanted it not printed.
Tony,
but God caused them to make that mistake of printing it. Absolutely. And then when we began to move towards challenging it, they printed a second version of this Constitution that doesn't have this story.
Isn't that also fraudulent on its own?
Fraud upon fraud. You know, for every lie you tell,
you have to tell another lie.
You need 10 lies to cover one lie.
My goodness.
So Nigeria has been one pile of lie after another.
Before we go on the short break, now what do you say to people? Because when we had you here a while ago, someone raised the issue that if you're saying the Constitution is a problem, that the problem is that the Constitution itself, as bad as it is, as fraudulent, as useless, whatever people say it is, has not really been allowed to function. That the rule of law is never really... So they are saying it does not matter how much you try to now get a proper constitution, lay the right foundation, go through the right process. that except the people change, the attitude of people will change, that nothing is going to change that, because the corruption in all the state by the state executives and at the national level, the executive and all of these people, it's not just a problem of constitution. That is a problem of greed, of selfishness, and so on. So people are saying, there are some saying the constitution is not a problem. So what's your answer before we go on a short break?
Those people saying that the constitution is not the problem,
Yeah.
they are either ignorant,
Okay,
or dishonest,
okay,
or both.
okay. So,
Ignorant,
yeah,
dishonest, or
okay,
both.
okay,
Even if they are professors of law, even
okay,
if they are senior advocates. Why do I say so?
right.
The constitution that was imposed became the source from which all things are mandated. That is, in this document, the people who want corruption to die down, for instance, do not understand that the corruption is created deliberately
And guaranteed.
and guaranteed, and the beneficiaries, the potential beneficiaries of corruption, given comprehensive protection. You can't reach them. You can't touch them.
With the impunity clause?
With immunity clause.
Immunity.
Did
I call it impunity?
That encourages impunity.
Immunity covers their impunity.
Their impunity. Now,
And the constitution guarantees
the constitution. Let's just very quickly go to the specifics, so that people can confront those ignorant lawyers who are saying this.
No, but I think you still go into the specific,
Yes.
but take us further about, you've just said the constitution gives immunity to the impunity that these people are using to sustain their greed, their corruption, and so on. Which of that way is the constitution a problem? Because you said that those people who are arguing that constitution is not a problem, they're either ignorant, dishonest, or both.
Yes.
So how else does the constitution constitute a problem for the Nigerian nation?
Under this constitution, Nigeria has become, a criminal enterprise.
How?
To the extent that it is this forgery that is now defining the union and all of what happens inside it.
Okay.
For instance, section 6, subsection 6C.
Yeah. Now, if you can prove this
entire
allegation, every lover of truth and justice should be concerned. If Nigeria is like a criminal enterprise,
yes,
then we should do something about it.
How? This constitution has made Nigeria, because it says that we, the people, have submitted our lives and our lands to be managed.
It lied against us
under these rules.
Yeah.
And what are in these rules? The chapter 2, the constitution is a social contract.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 of this constitution lists all the good things of life any citizen can expect from his country.
Okay.
That your welfare and security is the first business of government.
Absolutely.
There shall be equal treatment for all citizens. Yeah. Everybody's life will be guaranteed.
And everybody in government will be committed to your welfare and safety and security.
That you will be treated equally.
Absolutely.
And there will be no discrimination on account of where you come from. All kinds of good things you can imagine are bunched into chapter 2 of this constitution.
Okay.
But section 6, subsection 6C,
yes,
nullifies the chapter 2.
No. How?
I'm telling you what is contained there.
No, tell us. Please tell them.
Section 6.
Section 2 guarantees everything in an ideal society.
Chapter 2. The whole of chapter 2, many sections.
Lists everything.
Every good thing that everybody can expect.
Then you say section 6.
Then section 6, subsection 6C.
Yes.
Expressly nullify chapter 2.
How?
In such a way, it says that all those good things written in chapter 2,
yes,
you see, they are not the kind of things you can come to ask whether they are done or not done.
That means you can't challenge the people in power.
If they are not, if those things are not done for you, you don't have any recourse against the people who are not doing it for you.
If you protest, they can shoot at you.
Yes,
like the A.S.A thing that
anything you do in pursuit of those beautiful things, because at times I see the lawyers in the land who come to say, "Oh, let us go to court to enforce it," like the 50 billion. Like the 50 billion naira suit instituted not too long ago in Abuja, where they are saying that there have been marginalization or lopsidedness in appointment, because it's in that chapter 2 that equal treatment is provided for. But that section 6, section 6C, says that if it is not done, the courts do not have jurisdiction to listen to you.
If the courts don't. And you go to challenge government.
Let's bring it down to where our ordinary people cannot. It is now discretionary under that provision of section 6C.
Oh my goodness!
It is discretionary to the people in government to do for you all of those good things, any and all of those things in chapter 2. Meaning that the government does not owe you any security,
No.
does not owe you any welfare, does not owe you any equal treatment, does not owe you any of
Is
those
that
things.
why you say that the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution as amended, is the tap from where all our
All the
miseries
miseries flow.
and
Now,
the calamity
it
is
doesn't-
flowing upon
It doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
The section.
Oh my God. We need to go and check these things you're saying. There are many don't know, and
Yes,
you need
they
to
think-
know the truth.
The
to be
citizens
free.
think they are entitled to those things.
Yeah.
The document in black and white say you are not entitled. That's what that
Oh my
notification
goodness.
means.
Now we're hearing people in power saying that your the rule of law and your right as citizen to challenge or do anything must be subject to what they perceive and define as national security. So if you try to take them on for not doing Section 2 and they feel you are a threat, then you can be locked up. You can anything.
The
You can be
whole
shot
thing,
at.
anybody talking about rule of law under
Yeah.
this constitution,
Yeah.
again, is either ignorant or dishonest or both.
Why?
Because no rule of law is possible in a constitution of master and servant, like the apartheid constitution.
That's
Could we be
correct.
talking about rule of law there?
That's
because
correct.
this constitution provides
Oh
it
my!
creates massive.
No, you are telling us that to practice rule of law is not possible under this present constitution.
Absolutely.
Okay, Oga Tony, you are not going anywhere. We need to go on a short break.
Okay.
Now, listen. Remember, the Bible says this is the Lord Jesus saying to those who believe in Him, who are worshippers. John chapter 8 from verse 81. Jews that believe say, if you continue in my word, you will be my disciples, and then you will know the truth, and the truth will make you. If you don't know the truth, remain in darkness. You remain in chains and shackles. You will be a slave where you are supposed to be nobles and princes and citizens. So you need to know some truth from what Tony is telling us. So go on a short break. I'll be back and he'll take us further. I'm loving this. God bless you, Tony.
The 1999 Constitution is the reason for the spread of injustice, inequality, zero development, use of impunity, looting recklessly. Only the owners of a company can write or rewrite the memo and article of their company. In the memo, you see the statement of agreeing to form a company, and in the article, you see how they intend to relate to themselves within that venture. In the same vein, only the peoples of a country can write their constitution based on their agreement. They need to first agree to commit to a union, which Nigerians haven't done, which is why the first line in the preamble that says we the people is considered a forgery. And because we have not agreed on any terms as contained in the schedule, it is considered a fraud. Join us in this call for the decommissioning of this fraud called 1999 Constitution. We cannot allow Nigeria become a failed state. So what do? As contained in the UN document of the rights of indigenous persons, you need to get the federating units, the peoples, the Anams, the Bibios, the Ijaws, the Igbos, the Hausas, the Yorubas, the Nupes, the Igalas, you know the peoples. Let everyone come to a referendum like the South Africans did with their apartheid constitution. Let them come and agree. Okay, and based off of their agreement, you can then draw up a constitution. That is the only honest, peaceful, truthful thing to do. For once, ask for the decommissioning of this constitution. Let us go to referendum, and based on our terms and conditions, you can draft our constitution. Anything outside of that is adding to the fraud.
All right, you are welcome back. I hope you're enjoying this. Are you calling people to join on? I think you need to join live to feel this vibe. And in any case, anyone that cannot join now, you can tell them to watch it later. I'm still in the house with the one and only Tony Nadi. I call you elder statesman. My prayer is that your labor over the masses of this nation will not go in vain. That God will let you live to see the fulfillment of your dream.
Thank you.
Now, but we have a very short time, and there's so much to cover.
Yes.
So you were telling us about how one section of the Constitution contradict and neutralize another, like Section 6, they neutralized everything that's guaranteed in Section 2. People need to know this, because if you don't know the truth, you can't stand for the truth, you can't fight for the truth, and you can't be free. Yeah. Take us further, please.
Right. We've just talked about the Section 6, Subsection 6C, under which the government does not owe you, the citizen, any obligation. All of the rights guaranteed you, the one you thought they owed you, school and hospital and welfare and equal treatment.
Yeah.
Is not so.
Tell them
it's at the discretion of people in government house to do or not to do for you. Anything they do for you, you have to thank them. That's why they spend more money, more or less advertising what the little they do, as if they borrowed money from their father's company to do them. And so
are you hearing? Please tell them.
Yes.
So that you will know why you are suffering what you are suffering.
They do not owe you any obligation for all the things you expect from them under that clause, Section 6, Subsection 6C. Confront all the lawyers you know in your neighborhood. Yeah. Whoever they are, ask them whether it is so or not so.
So if you go to court, nothing is going to come out.
All the good things of life that is promised you in the social contract that is the Constitution is denied and negated, taken away by Section 6, Subsection 60. Now, there is also the one immediately after it, Section 6, Subsection 6D.
Yeah.
That provides the foundation of the impunity we're talking about. That Section 6, Subsection 6D provides a period of 33 years that begins from 15th of January in 1966.
And people can check this up, right?
Check this up. Section 6, Subsection 6D is the foundation of the impunity we are living with in Nigeria.
All right.
Because it gives blanket immunity for all acts done in the name of government between the January of 1966 and the May of 29th of May in 1999, 33-year period.
By both military and civilian.
Everybody who acted in the name of government.
Yeah.
Everything they did in that period, that Section 6,
my goodness.
Section 6, grants them absolute immunity. Nobody can question them. So all the oil blocks that have been seized and distributed the way they distributed,
or land,
all the assets that have been seized from everybody, all the killings that happened in that period,
that's right.
Every atrocity committed in the name of Nigeria in that period, including people who know those who do that.
Extrajudicial killings, human rights abuse.
Things that are still being haunted and punished in other parts of the world.
That's right.
You can't question them for. That's why they are bold enough to come to tell us that they will do it again. That's what we get from
goodness
in all of when they try to repeat what they did again in the past. And so we come from there to see that even at that, those people who benefited from stripping the assets of the federation for themselves.
Yeah.
And who became responsible for the people who got to government house, because they are richer than all these mushrooms of states.
Yeah.
Some of them have more money than several states combined.
Absolutely.
And so they are the ones who have money to finance the election.
Tony, you also tell us that the reason things are not working, whether refinery, why we have now to be importing oil, maybe from next door, Nigeria Republic, why there can be no power, why there can be no infrastructure or good roads. You say it's also flow from the Constitution.
The 68 items of exclusive list in the Constitution is the reason we have the decay of infrastructure, is the reason why you will never have electricity, is the reason why refineries will never work here.
And why there can be no security.
So because where there can be no security, where there can be no better election. All of those we're talking about electoral reform and all of that. These are products of ignorance.
To say let's vote them out.
No, it's not so. Because whoever wins any election will have to swear to govern by that, to defend and uphold these rules we are talking about. The rules that, negate a responsibility towards you.
And give blanket immunity.
That gives, before the immunity. the spare key to the treasury.
Please talk about it. Yeah.
The corruption we are talking about was deliberately created by this constitution and protected by this constitution.
My goodness.
There's nothing anybody can do about anything about corruption except this constitution goes down.
We'll just be doing cosmetic.
The appropriation provisions. First, they do not owe you any obligation like we have seen.
Yeah.
The appropriation provisions are such that it hands the spare key to the treasury to the president and the governors. The 37 men whose signature move all the monies from the treasury are given the spare key to the treasury.
How?
The section 81 of the constitution says that the president must go to National Assembly to get permission to spend money from the treasury.
Okay.
Section 82 says the
president, checks and balance.
The president can continue while the National Assembly is debating the budget and the estimates submitted by the president, that the president can run the country spending money subject to the limits of what was approved the year before, not what was spent. And you hear about jumbo budget of, trillion upon trillion. The reason they are doing that is that since the constitution says they can take 50% of what was approved the year before.
Yeah. Without any further.
They only need to take Ghana must go to the National Assembly to put the figures that they want in place. The president, for instance, may know that he will not have more than 50 billion to spend on education.
Yes.
But he will put a figure of 150 billion for education. Those who are waiting for education that will improve by financing will think that they are going to get 150 billion. No, the president knows he will not get even 50 billion.
Okay.
But because he has spent Ghana must go in National Assembly and they put 150 billion for education, it means that in the year that follows, they are debating in 2020 now, by 2021, whatever you are doing, because 150 billion has been approved for education in the year before, the president can take 75 billion from the treasury without talking to the National Assembly. He has laid a foundation that enables him clear out whatever comes in for education without talking.
And it's guaranteed by the
Constitution. As it is for education, so it is for healthcare, so it is for everything that they have to spend upon. You just need to put the figure there, and then you go and take whatever comes to 50% of it. And you then go from there to the matter of the immunity, as it is for the president in 81, 82, sections 81 and 82.
Yeah.
So it is for the governors in section 121 and 122. These are things even young people can go and verify.
Absolutely, they need to
go and open it.
Yeah.
It's a fraud that you think that the National Assembly is the one regulating the spending of the president, or that the state assemblies are the ones regulating the spending of the governors. The governors have the spare key to the treasury.
Wow.
Therefore, in section 121, they are required to go to state assembly to get permission to spend money. But in section 122, they are permitted, just like the president, to spend all of what is in the treasury, subject to that dubious limitation, in which they only need to put figures the year before so that they can go and take whatever comes to half of it, which may be 100% of whatever is in the treasury.
My goodness.
So, from there, they now go to section 308 that gives them absolute immunity. You can't question them for what they do all the while they're not.
Okay, we have 5 minutes more.
Yes.
But you also say this is why roads are not working.
Yes.
Healthcare system cannot work. No infrastructure can work. There can be no power. We've had some federal minister like the blessed member, blessed member that said, "Oh, I will make power work even if I have to turn stone to bread." We've seen the super minister, Fashula, people that can't know what to do. But you are saying the Constitution makes it impossible. In 5 minutes.
The only reason you there is the exclusively the 68 items exclusive list
of the federal government
of matters that are exclusively in the hand of the federal government to handle for you.
No state
in a federation, it should not be so at all.
Yeah.
Now it is in that exclusive list that you have the matter of electricity generation and transmission. That's the power to generate and transmit electricity is exclusive to the federal government. So, Lagos, that I know, struggling with 40 million people that come in and out of, can generate 50, 60,000 megawatts of electricity if that item is removed from the Constitution today.
So if it's not removed,
the people who know they cannot generate any electricity are the ones you have to wait for. They are discussing 5,000.
And they'll be giving you false promises.
They will get false promises. Nothing can give you electricity.
So stable power supply is an illusion.
It's an illusion.
Okay.
Then you see refineries.
Yeah, refineries.
Again, it's on that list. The only reason why petrol, with the country that produces 3 million barrels of crude oil, cannot refine the little it needs, less than 10% of what it produces, now we have to go and buy from the Nigeria Republic with the 4 big refineries, is because it's on that exclusive list. Only the federal government can do. But now, if you remove refineries from that list, you immediately discover that everybody can. Is it not Dangote they've given license now to go and make refinery? Why can't the state governments license people to go and do refinery? Go to Texas and see how many.
When an individual can do that.
Biafra ran for 3 vehicles were moving inside Biafra because refinery
for 3.5 years.
People were refining their petrol in the place. What is there in refining? So as it is for electricity, so it is for petrol. You will pay more prices in the days to come because now you have to buy only at international prices.
So the federal government is bloated, overburdened
itself.
Just like the presidency now. I mean, you can't even run all the 36 states and the federal capital effectively. So and we have a situation where the president also is Minister of Petroleum.
Let us go more. The oil and gas assets of the Niger Delta that is seized from them is on account of that exclusive list.
Yeah.
The limestone of Benue people, the security we are shouting about.
That's right.
Arms and ammunition are on that exclusive list. So the state, no governor can license even your vigilante for one rifle.
And no government don't have control over the commissioner of police.
All the guns in the lands and the hands of that federal government, which has in turn been hijacked by the Fulani as we speak. Which is why they have exclusive control of all the guns in all the services.
Yeah, I mean the herdsmen that are now rampage everywhere.
Now, you cannot get any better security than you have now. The people being killed in the Middle Belt. Your situation will not improve except this constitution goes down.
Okay.
Those who look for electricity, your situation will not improve. Those who look for ports, those who look for railways, even election, the matter of who will govern.
That's correct.
The election, there's a central electoral body called INEC that sits in Abuja to determine who will govern Ogbomoso. You know what happened in Owerri?
Yeah.
That the Imo people voted for.
Whereas in US, every state has its own electoral empire and in the federation.
In a federation, everybody should decide who will represent them and then turn the list over to the center. Absolutely. If there's anybody who wants to go to center.
Okay. So you have made it abundantly clear. And I think if you really want to know the truth, get to the foundation of the issues, you should go check the Constitution. Because you can't stand for what you don't understand. And when you remain in ignorance, you are in darkness. Remember, when you are in darkness, you can't move freely. It's like there are shackles on your feet and, you have to be walking blindly. You should know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Now, we can finish this topic now. You can see this is hot. This is serious. So we're going to have another session where we'll bring Tony Nadi back to tell us, what do we do about the Constitution? What do we do about the Nigeria dilemma? We're talking about prognosis and PANACEA. If we continue the way we are we just going to maybe one day just slog this place? Okay. Will things get better? Are we going down? Are we going up? You need to know. And I think we need to begin to pray for God to open us up, for the Lord to fire us up, and so we do the needful and break the shackle that is holding down everybody in this country, including the oppressors themselves. So, we're going to bring another special package your way. And Tony Nadi, the Secretary General of the Lower Niger Congress and the co-convener of Movement for New Nigeria, we'll be back again. And you can't afford to miss this. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.